This is a hair metal channel. Always has been a hair metal channel, always will be a hair metal channel. I fucking love hair metal. But if I could only listen to hair metal, I'd fucking shoot myself. So that's the topic of today's video. Patrick, Mariah, and I are talking about what we're currently listening to. No hair metal allowed. Next on the Hair Metal Guru.
The Hair Metal Guru, from Warren to Crew. The Hair Metal Guru, never forget Charlie too.
Welcome to the Hair Metal Guru. My name is Anthony. They call me the Guru. And holy back, holy fuck, holy back, holy fuck. Mariah is back, holy back, because we are going to have a threesome again. Just kidding, just kidding. Mariah is back along with Patrick to talk about albums that we are currently listening to. No hair metal allowed. And with that, let's welcome our guest, Mariah, back for the first time in a little while. Welcome back to the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me back. I'm excited. I love talking hair metal, and I also love talking non-hair metal. So this is going to be fun, and I'm looking forward to it. You can find me on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, at mtomesian24. And at mtomesian on Instagram, I talk music once in a while. So yeah, thanks for having me. This will be fun.
Absolutely, absolutely. I'll put your Twitter handle here. And Patrick, I don't know why the fuck I gotta welcome you back. You're here all the time. But anyway, welcome back to the show.
You can follow me at coolasice232 on the Twitters. And I'm just jazzed as hell. This is only the second or third time I have ever recorded with the First Lady of the Hair Metal Guru channel.
Yeah, that's right. I think it's 3.
I think it's 3.
Is she the only lady of the Hair Metal Guru channel?
I think she is the
Has
only
there been
lady.
There hasn't been another girl, has there?
No.
Hey, you got Charlie. Don't
Yeah.
what the fuck am I
discount
talking
Charlie.
about?
Come on.
Where you at? And speaking of, I am looking for another girl for the channel because I just put out a feeler on X and on Facebook. I need a hair metal groupie. I'm talking somebody legitimately who would have been considered a groupie back in the day to come on the channel and talk about your experiences. And it doesn't have to be a shame. I don't want it to be a shame fest. I want it to be about somebody who loves the music and maybe was, a girlfriend, boyfriend, somebody who helped out the band. So if you get that message, let me know and come on the channel and talk about it. So anyway, yes, Mariah is the first lady of the Hair Metal Guru channel, and Patrick's probably the first bitch as well. So, but we are talking about albums that we are currently have been listening to a lot. No hair metal allowed, and I love this topic because yes, I listen to hair metal a ton, but man, you spread your wings, you further your boundaries. So I listen to a ton of shit that is not hair metal. So that's the topic of today's video. So we each have 3 albums that we're going to talk about, non-hair metal related. And I think we'll go like this. We'll go Mariah, Patrick, myself. And Mariah, what is your third non-hair metal album that you've been listening to lately?
Yeah, so I didn't do this in any order. I just, picked 3 albums. I had 5, and then I narrowed it down to 3 albums that I've been listening to. And this one is from 2022, and it made me a fan of the band. And it's the most well-known one on the list, so I figured I'd get out of the way first. It's Unlimited Love by Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Oh, okay.
To me, that's one of their best albums. I don't know if I can say it's my favorite album. It might be my favorite Red Hot Chili Peppers album. It's definitely up there.
Is John Frusciante on that?
Would you say?
Is John Frusciante the guitar player in it? Yeah.
Yeah. I think that was the one. I think that was his return album.
Yeah.
And they put out 2 albums in the same year, which you don't see that many bands doing. I think one came out, Unlimited Love was April, and I think the other one was like October, something like that.
Okay.
I liked them both. They're different, but I like this one a lot. Big fan of that. It's a very kind of accessible album, so even if you're not like a big Chili Peppers fan, not the funk, not all that, I just think this is a really easy one to get into. My mom doesn't really like them, but she likes this, so Black Summer was the big single off of that one. That one's really good. Aquatic Mouth Dance, which is a fun title. That's a great song. Uh,
Aquatic mouth dance. That
yeah,
sounds
my
hot,
mom liked
actually.
that song until for some reason she didn't realize what the title was. And she's like, I don't like that title. So now she don't like it anymore. But I like it. Not the One, Poster Child, One Way Traffic, Let 'Em Cry. There's some really solid tracks on here. I think there's 17 tracks. They like to have a lot of tracks on their albums, but yeah, even if you're not a big Chili Peppers fan, I feel like this is a real easy album to get into, and
Okay,
that's my number three pick.
awesome.
I listen to it a lot, and I've been really into it lately. So
I have never been a Chili Peppers fan. I was never into funk. Though I did see a documentary that about I think it was John Frusciante, where he had been out of the band and was a major heroin addict.
Yes.
yes,
It
yeah.
was disturbing. I mean, he was like just sitting in a room all day shooting up and yeah, it was fucked up. So anyway.
Yeah, but no, I'd recommend that album, even if people aren't big into them. That and another song that came out right before that, Dark Necessities. I don't know anyone who doesn't like that song. That's a really just good tune.
Okay. All
So
right.
yeah,
Chili Peppers for number three for
Chili
Mariah.
Peppers.
Patrick, what's your number three?
If there is one thing that is a constant in my life, it is any album from this next artist. And my number three is an album that came out in 1997. It was their basically unveiling with a new singer, and they put out two records and a B-sides record with him. And very quickly, those two records became among some of my favorite albums in history. And I don't think a month goes by that I don't listen to this record. It is the American Psycho record from the Misfits,
Oh yeah.
featuring Michael Graves, who I thought was a better singer than Danzig. I know that's a really unpopular opinion, but I love Michael Graves. I love his solo work, and American Psycho. People put this reemergence of the Misfits in the punk category, and I just don't think it sounds like punk rock. I just think it sounds like hard rock. Um, Again, probably another unpopular opinion, but songs like Dig Up Her Bones, which was the first single and got a video, was amazing. Resurrection, The Shining, and Here Comes the Dead. Those are my jams. Sounds fucking fantastic still in the car. It even
Well,
had, remember in the mid to late 90s when everybody was putting secret tracks?
yeah.
Yeah, well, that one has a secret track called Hell Night. That was great, but I fucking love the Misfits. Even with Danzig, I love the Misfits. So that's my jam.
What was the song that you sent to
I
me?
sent you Dig Up Her Bones.
Okay. And that like I hear punk and metal hard rock mixed with that. So I'm all fuck when you get to my list, I'm all about punk rock. So I've never spent a lot of time with the Misfits, though obviously I know about the history and Danzig. But anyway, that song was great, so I need to
Yeah,
listen
it's
more
good
of that.
shit. The follow-up record, Famous Monsters, was fucking awesome too. So
Okay. All right, the Misfits. Okay. On to my number three, and I am probably going to pick the three most obscure bands. I don't know. I've met some people that not even associated with this channel, just by being a music fan, that have introduced me to some cool bands. And Minneapolis, I'm in Fargo. Minneapolis is about 3.5 hours away. Minneapolis has always had a really cool music scene, and with some obscure bands that were always big regionally, that didn't really make it nationally. And my first band is one of those bands right now. They're called The Right Here, and the album is called Stick to the Plan. And it's their second album, and it came out in 2016. And I love I love punk rock. I love alt country. Uh,
mhm.
and who could I say, like Whiskey Town, Ryan Adams might be considered alt country. You may have heard of a band in the 80s called The Replacements,
Yes.
who had some punk rock sounding songs, they had some hard rock sounding songs, and then they wrote some ballads that could just break your heart. Well, this is I think a lot of cool rock bands came out of Minneapolis that were influenced by like the Replacements. Soul Asylum was a big band that was in Minneapolis in the 80s. And anyway, I'm going on, but the right here, I can't remember where I heard about this. I think there's a guy now I can't even remember his name, but he does a lot of album covers, and I think he did their album covers, and he was always recommending me music on Facebook. I never met this guy, but he just likes some bands that I like. So I'm gonna give you a couple songs. Like I said, it's sometimes just up tempo punk rock, like That's All We Got and More. If This Land Isn't My Land is kind of like that. Till the Wheels Come Off, I think is the song that I sent you earlier, Patrick.
Great
But
song.
it'll have some acoustic stuff along with it, and then they add some more mellow stuff. Seattle Breathe is a great song. Drunk and Rolling Around is a great song. Leaving for a Reason is a great song. But it's just a lot of the lyrics are kind of about heartbreak, self, reflection. Uh, a lot of these bands would write songs about like being in the upper Midwest and not much going on. So what do you do for fun? You drink until drinking becomes a problem. That's what happened to me. I hear some of that in the right here. I love this band. I hope to go see them. They're from Minneapolis. And shit, here is the vinyl of that right here. And I'll just throw it out there while I'm here. They did put out the follow-up. It's called Northern Town. And there is a song. I love this whole album. I'm just going to talk about one song. Go listen to what the fuck? Good Luck Trying. Holy shit. It's one of my favorite songs of the last year, but I've been listening to Stick to the Plan lately, so that's why I picked that. And I know I rambled. I fucking love this band and that album.
I think that I'm a big fan of rockabilly punk as well,
Yeah.
and the right here remind me of a band that I love called the Rosedales. That's kind of like a horror rockabilly punk band, and
Yeah.
for some reason it's always in the fall that I wind up listening to that stuff,
Yeah.
and maybe it has something to do with Halloween. I don't know, but I checked out the song you sent me and I thought it was rad. It's
Yeah.
good stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'll send you a link to that song, Mariah, that I sent
Yeah,
you.
yeah, do. I'm
They
always
put out a
looking for
couple
new stuff.
music
I'm always
videos.
like hearing new stuff, so it'll be good.
Okay, awesome. All right, that's our number three. We're moving on to our number two, Mariah. What do you got?
Yeah, so we'll go a little earlier. I realized that all of my albums are in the 21st century, but wasn't intentional. I have a band called AWOL Nation. If you guys know anything about them, they had a pretty big hit when this album came out, 2011, called Sailed. That was pretty big. But their Megalithic Symphony album, which is not it's not a symphony, so I don't know why it's called that, from 2011 is a phenomenal song. It usually makes it just outside of my top 10 albums, right around there of all time. And I've been listening to a lot lately. People, Jump on My Shoulders, Filthy Soul, Burn It Down, Wake Up, Not Your Fault, and Kill Your Heroes is my personal favorite off of that album. So,
What
They have
what
a
did you say
GNR
was the name of the
connection.
band?
AWOL Nation.
Abel?
AWOL. AWOL Nation.
Okay, that's okay because I've heard of that. I thought you said Abel, and I'm like, oh, I'm like,
No, 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 no. Yeah,
I
AWOL
got
Nation. They like all their albums are pretty good. This is by far my favorite one though, and there's some killer tracks on there. So I'd encourage you to check that out if you don't know it.
And they
okay.
have a GNR connection.
What'd you say?
They have a Guns N' Roses connection.
What's up?
The current drummer was had some relationship and was somehow, I think he was in AWOL Nation for a previous record.
Oh, I don't know that. The only thing I can think of any connection they would have is 6 a.m., which is another band that I am a huge fan of, but that's kind of hair metal adjacent because, Nikki Sixx started it. They have a song that I really love one of my favorites called Maybe It's Time.
Yeah, Isaac Carpenter was in AWOL Nation.
Well, maybe. Yeah, maybe it's time. And it was for, for kids who have addictions. It was to raise money for, for kids who are struggling with addictions and stuff like that. And AWOL Nation, they did a whole like the who's who of rock, and AWOL Nation was on there, and I believe there was a member of Guns N' Roses on there too. That's the only connection I could think of because they're not like hair metal.
No, they're
They're
not. No, it's just that
at
Isaac
all.
Carpenter, yeah, was in that, was a part of
Interesting. I don't know
AWOL.
if I knew that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
All right.
yeah, that's my number two.
Awesome.
Great stuff.
Awesome. Patrick, what's your number two?
We've talked about them before, but just a few months ago, John Cafferty and the Beaver Brown Band put out their very first record in over 30 years. And it's called Sound of Waves, and it's magnificent. It's absolutely the perfect comeback album for them. And unfortunately, today, their saxophone player died.
Yes, the guy who was in the movie Eddie and the Cruisers.
Yeah, he passed away. He was over, I think he was almost 90 years old or 80 something years old, but
Shit.
he was fantastic. I got to see them live and he was incredible. But the new record that came out, I think it was back in April, it's called Sound of Waves. And it is everything that if you liked John Cafferty and the Beaver Brown Band, it's everything that John Cafferty and the Beaver Brown Band, and it's just fantastic. A couple songs that are incredible: Palisades, Razor and Rock, which just is fantastic. Day in the Sun. You pick any song on it, and it's great. And I love John Cafferty's voice, and God, I would do anything to have him on the channel.
Oh,
He's great.
after we get done, when this comes out, fucking send it to their publicist or whatever.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm a huge fan. The day I found out, I can't remember how I found out if it was on X, but I went to YouTube and started, and I need to order the fucking CD because I want to be the guy who supports the bands that I like. But I was listening to it on YouTube and I was like, holy shit. I was like, this is damn great stuff, you know?
Oh, it
So
was a tearjerker when I heard it because I was like, oh my God, this is everything I could have ever asked for from this band. So it might be my favorite record they've ever done. So
badass. Shit, I should have been wearing my Eddie Live shirt. Damn it. All right. Okay. Awesome. My number two, again, very obscure. This is a band from, I think they're from they're from Philadelphia. And I think I accidentally stumbled on a song called New Air by the band is called Fire in the Radio. So I stumble across this New Air song, and it sounds almost like 80s new wave. And I don't know if I've invented this terminology, but I call it synth punk. Like there's a lot of synths on in their music, and I hear some new wave and I hear some punk. So I was like, oh, synth punk. Anyway, I hear some of that, and this song New Air, I was like, what the fuck? Like where has this song been all my life? So anyway, the album is called Monuments and by Fire in the Radio, and it is to me all killer, no filler. Like they put out a couple music videos, and I always wonder like how do these, and I'm assuming these guys are not living on playing in a band. These are guys who fucking have jobs, just like, the right here. I'm Facebook friends with one of the guys. I think he works at like a school, and I'm sure these guys, but they should be living off this album and touring to huge crowds. So I don't, I always like wonder like how big is this band? I don't know. But this album is great. So here's a couple tracks that you need to listen to. Gravity. Oh, Tulare. I said Sunday Cassock. And then the last song is called Save Me, and I'm just going to give you a couple lyrics from it. It's just kind of haunting, but it goes, save me now, save me from the demons I once called home. I don't want to be left alone. Holy fuck. I like some of these lyrics are so emotional, and a lot of it's kind of dark, but it's just a great band, a great album. I think the first album was called Vacant States, and I probably have that one in here too, with the song New Air. But check out Monuments by Fire in the Radio. They're from Philadelphia. I cannot stop listening to this album.
You had sent me to Lair, and that led me to listening to three more songs from them, and I was blown away. Modern rock at its best. I mean,
Yeah,
absolute modern rock at its best.
yeah.
Driving guitar, killer lyrics. I'll be definitely purchasing a few of their records because it's good stuff.
Here's that first one.
New Air.
Uh, oh, it is. The album was called New Air. I thought it was called Vacant States, I think is the song on it. Anyway, that's their first album. You are Mariah, and I think because you like 80s music and you like some modern stuff. I mean, this is new shit. So I
Yeah,
think you will really like this. So
I'll check it out for sure.
awesome. Awesome.
I'm
Okay.
just gonna move over here real fast. The sun is just killing me in this room.
No problem. No problem. That'll give us a better chance to look at your Guns N' Roses shirt.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's just the basic boring one, but it's still a good one.
That's all right. Okay. We are on to our number ones. Mariah, what's your number one?
Yeah, so real quick, I gotta give an honorable mention. If it had been what am I actually listening to the most right now, just in general, it's a whole lot of Ozzy Osbourne albums. So
Okay.
rest in peace. That would be my honorable
Yep.
mentions. That has been my number one for the last month.
Sure.
But
Sure.
since that is hair metal related, and since everyone's been talking Ozzy to death lately, as they should,
Yep.
my number one right now is called Down in a Hole. It's by Kiefer Sutherland, who's an actor.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I love this album. I own it on CD. I don't have it right with me at the moment. I've seen him in concert, and that was fun. Like I could have worn the shirt, actually, now that I think about it. I do have a shirt from the 2016 or 17 tour, whatever it was. But I absolutely love this album. It's kind of country rock.
Yes.
I'm a big Kiefer Sutherland fan anyways. My favorite TV show is 24.
Oh
Oh,
my God, me too.
dude.
Holy shit.
I love that series. Fuck.
I
Yeah,
love it. But I
so
hated
good.
his daughter.
Yeah.
Oh, that bitch. Jeez.
Yeah.
So that's how I became a fan. I like his other shows, Designated Survivor. He's got a lot of good movies,
good one,
but
too.
I was like, I don't know about this. And then I heard a snippet of I think it's Down in a Hole off the album, and I was like, okay, I gotta listen to that. And all three of his albums are great, but some of my favorite tracks on here would be Not Enough Whiskey, uh, My Best Friend, Down on a Hole, uh, Truth in Your Eyes, and Can't Stay Away. I mean, I could name the whole album. It's phenomenal. It's a, very vulnerable album. There's a lot of very good lyrics on there, and yeah, it's a phenomenal album with some country influences in there, and I'd highly recommend anyone who hasn't heard it to do so.
I've listened to some of his stuff, and I said, alt country rock. I don't get into much like regular country, but
I don't either.
alternative, like that's what his stuff reminds me of. I really liked what I heard, so I don't know that I've listened to that album, but I just
Yeah, it's
remember listening to his stuff in
the
the past.
first one. Reckless and Me and Bloor Street, I believe, are his other two, and they're also very good. This one's my favorite, and yeah, it's really great. It's not like it's got rock elements. It's not overtly country. I mean, there's kind of that like element to it, but not in a modern country kind of way.
Right.
Because that's not what I like.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
But just kind of the, yeah, whatever, there's a word for it. I don't know what it is.
kind
But
of Americana country.
yeah,
in a
yeah, yeah,
way.
yeah. More that kind of thing.
Yes.
More like, home, down home,
Yep.
Americana kind of rock style.
Yeah. Yep.
So, yep, that's my number one.
Okay.
Cool.
And I will put pictures of the albums. So,
Yep,
so
that one's
that was
bright
good.
yellow.
All right. Okay, Patrick, what's your number one?
Since one of my, I think it was my second appearance on the channel, I have promoted this band and this album because it also will never ever leave my existence. I talk about it on X regularly, and I actually have turned on some folks to it because they'll send me a private message that's like, "Holy shit, that album does rock," and it's great. It is 2019's "Touch" by the Panic Division. I know I talk it to death, but fuck, just go listen to it. You will not be let down. They made two killer music videos for it that are both on YouTube for the title track "Touch" and the first single, which was called Graveyards, that was great. Think of like you know the awesome 80s songs by like Cutting Crew, like stuff like that.
I
It's got
just died in your
yeah,
arms tonight.
I was
that
singing
kind of
that too,
stuff.
yeah.
They actually did on a previous album, they did a cover that Mr. song, Take These Broken Wings. It's that type of music, but the Touch album added a little bit more of like a 80s flavor to it, and it just sounds fantastic. It's got great drums. There's songs that have amazing guitar solos in them. It's good shit. I know I sent a track to Guru.
Yep.
I've
Yep.
put shit out there, so much shit out there on X. Just do yourself a favor and check it out. You won't miss.
Yeah, I've been listening. Yeah, because it's like kind of that new wave 80s shit that fucking like I really got into a lot of that stuff back in the day.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
good stuff.
No, I
All I
really
can
like a
do
lot
is
of
say
that
that.
stuff.
Yeah.
I've become a lot more into it because one of my coworkers, kind of my boss, he's 35, so I'm like he's super into like 80s new wave and
Mm,
plays that stuff all the time at work. So I've learned all sorts of songs, real obscure stuff too, that I'm like probably would have never heard that otherwise, but there's some good stuff.
yeah. Okay. Yeah. And
I
and
talk it to death. So
I know you are so passionate about that, and that's I mean it makes me want to listen to the shit out of it because you can tell that it really matters to you. So
Yeah.
yeah. And my honorable mention since Mariah had one, the 1996 album from Typo Negative, October Rust. Masterpiece. Absolute masterpiece. Go listen to Love You to Death. It's probably the best song of that genre ever. Thank you.
okay. Um, I shudder at talking about how important uh this the album that I'm going to talk about is. It's by a band called The Creeps. They are from I think Ottawa in Ontario, Canada. Shout out to you, Jason Reed. Um, and again, I heard this a song called Cancer, and I don't have the album I'm going to talk about is called Beneath the Pines. Okay? But the first song I heard was called Cancer, and it was on this album. It's called Eulogies. Okay, by the Creeps. And I'm like, holy shit, that's a good song. Well, they put out a bunch of albums. This band formed in like 99. They put out like, it's called Gamma Gamma Ray, Back to the Bin, Lakeside Cabin. This album is called Eulogies. Well, then in 2018, they put out Beneath the Pines. I'll put the fucking cover on it. And I have been listening to this thing steadily for years. I very rarely, I make playlists all the time, like, whatever I'm going to walk Charlie to or work out to. And it's very rarely there aren't four or five songs off the Creeps Beneath the Pines on it. And I could go over every fucking song. It's kind of pop punk. But if you listen to their earlier shit, it started off a lot harder. And the lyrics were like I've heard people call it like horror punk. And they had a lot of kind of like horror like lyrics. And on Beneath the Pines, they went like really introspective and emotional. So I'll tell you this about myself. Um, I love like party rock and a lot of times on the channel, I try to show my sense of humor and I try to be funny and shit like that. Not that I succeed all the time. But I also can can put myself back in the 2002 me when I was an alcoholic and life was falling apart. I can put myself there like that. And this album just it it's written by somebody who is going, what am I doing with my life? And it's like you hear a lot of addiction in it. So, and I know I'm rambling and I apologize. I'm going to give you lyrics to a couple songs. This is song number 3. It's called Bottom of Things. And it goes like this. Eye contact. I practice everything except sleeping. I don't do that much these days because I've been getting useless at the bottom of things. And then it's one more. Tell me the time and I'll tell you my weakness. Tell me a time and I'll tell you what it meant. I don't remember the crimes. I don't remember the deeds. I don't remember the time that it stopped making sense. There is so every song on this fucking album is just bursting with emotion. Let me give you another one. Scared. Goes like this. I've had these dreams now and for most of my life, and I know just what they mean. You've got a feeling now that something ain't right, and I know just what you mean. And maybe it's that much worse at night, but don't hold that against me. What's that got to do with me? Just lately, I've been thinking about death, and lately, death's been thinking all about me. I wish I could sing it because the way I'm saying it doesn't do it the way I want to do. And then one more lyric, and then I'll be done with my spiel. The song "Low," and it's really fucking dark, but it starts like this: How do you get so low? How do you get so that everybody's talking? How do you get so low that you don't come around? So what if I like it alone? So what if I don't feel like hearing all their talking? So what if I stay so alone they don't come around? And then he says, I never know what to say to you all anyway. Anyway, I'm like reading it and I go, oh, dude, you're fucking this up because the song means so much more if you can hear those lyrics in the music. There's this whole fucking thing. I damn near was gonna develop or put a whole show around the album, but I'm like, it's not hair metal, so I'm not gonna do that. Anyway, the band is The Creeps. The album is called Beneath the Pines. It came out in 2018, and it's maybe the most important album of the last 10 years for me.
That's awesome. I
That's
did
awesome.
I did check out the song you sent me for Scared, and I thought, this reminds me almost like of a very dark Clash,
Yeah.
and with better vocals than the Clash. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, I know like now I don't think the band I think the singer went and did another album project with some songs that I really liked. I hope they do another Creeps album, but I bought I bought all their shit about a couple of their shirts because when a band hits me like that, I'm just like, fuck, take my money because I'll do anything I can to make sure that you guys feel like people like what you do and you want to do more of it. So,
Yeah, so you could keep having music that means that much to you. That's so
yeah.
important.
Yeah. Yeah. So, that brings, and I'll throw out my honorable mention because we were almost going to do 5 albums. So one of mine was going to be an album by a band called Nothington, and it's called Roads, Bridges, and Ruin, and it's really punk rock. So
I like that album cover. That's cool.
yeah, yeah. So that brings us, and brings us to the end. Maybe if you guys are into hearing about the stuff that we listen to that isn't hair metal, maybe we'll come back and do another episode of this. So we would love it if you went in the comments and maybe if you know about some of the albums that we listed, maybe give us your comments and maybe tell us some of the albums that you have been listening to lately, because I love hearing recommendations and maybe we'll find something new to listen to. And with that, it's time to say goodbye to our threesome here. Mariah, it's a blast having you back on. I hope we continue to have you on more coming in the future. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me. It's always a highlight of my day, my week being on here. So, yep, thank you for having me and I look forward to the next one. I loved hearing what else everybody likes that's not just hair metal, because as great as that is, it's cool to hear about all the other great stuff out there. So, thank you.
Awesome. Awesome. And Patrick. Thanks for coming on and telling me I'm gonna be checking out all three of these albums, even though I did kind of listen to the fucking John Cafferty one. So thanks for coming on, Patrick.
Absolutely. Go buy the Panic Division.
Right, right. Good point. Good point. The Creeps Beneath the Pines, life-changing fucking album. And hey, like, subscribe, what the hell, ring the bell, and whatever you can do to support the channel. I just appreciate you being here. Until the next video comes out, my name is Anthony. They call me the Guru. Take care of yourselves.